There's a washing machine in the laundromat where I work that has run continuously, nonstop, for as long as anyone can remember, and nobody has ever put a single item of laundry inside it. I took the night shift at Suds and Duds because it was the only job in Millhaven, Ohio that didn't require me to talk to people, and because the pay was decent for what sounded like the easiest work in the world. Sit behind a counter from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., make change, mop up detergent spills, make sure nobody sleeps in the folding tables. Rural Ohio, off Route 22, a squat brick building with buzzing fluorescent lights and 22 machines, open every hour of every day because Pauline Rourke, the owner, 70s, sharp as anything, said a laundromat that closes is a laundromat that loses customers to the one in the next town over. Pauline trained me my first 3 nights. Showed me the register, the detergent dispenser, how to reset a machine that eats a quarter without starting. Normal stuff. Then, on the 3rd night, right before she handed me my keys for the first time, she stopped and looked at me for a second longer than felt comfortable. "Machine 13, she said. "Back row, far corner. You don't touch it. Not to run a load, not to fix it if it looks broken, not to unplug it, not for any reason at all." I looked where she was pointing. Machine 13 sat exactly where the other 21 washers sat, same brand, same model, same faded coin slot, except it was running. Drum turning, water sloshing audibly behind the glass door, the little indicator light lit up green like someone had started a cycle 5 minutes ago. "Whose load is that?" "Nobody's," Pauline said. "It's been running like that since before I bought this place 17 years ago. I don't run it. I don't stop it. And you're not going to either." I laughed, honestly, the way you do when someone tells you something too strange to process right away. Pauline didn't laugh back. She just handed me the keyring, 6 keys for the register, the supply closet, the front door, and one more, filed down completely smooth, no teeth at all, useless as an actual key with a plastic tag zip tied to it that read Pale Company. "Facilities do not duplicate." "What's that one open?" "Nothing you need to worry about," she said, and that was the end of the conversation. I want to mention one more thing about that first week because it's the detail that stuck with me longest, even more than the machine itself. Every laundromat I've ever been in has a lost and found bin by the door, mismatched socks, the occasional forgotten shirt. Ours has one too, except Pauline keeps it locked in the supply closet instead of out where customers can dig through it, which struck me as strange for something so low stakes. When I finally got a look inside it, helping her restock detergent, it wasn't socks. It was keys. Dozens of them, all different shapes, half of them filed down smooth just like mine, no teeth, useless. I asked her why she kept a whole bin of keys that don't open anything. She said, "Because every one of them used to." For the first 2 weeks after that, machine 13 was easy enough to ignore. I'd walk past it doing my rounds and it would just be there, running the way it apparently always had been. No one from town ever asked about it. Regular customers used the other 21 machines and never so much as glanced at the corner where it sat. It was like the whole town had made some silent agreement, generations deep, to act like it wasn't there. Then, 9 days in, I noticed the water in the little window had changed color. It had always run clear before. I checked, out of nothing but boredom, the first few nights. That night it ran a dull, cloudy gray, the way water looks after a load of dark-colored clothes, except there was nothing inside. I stood there longer than I should have, staring at empty gray water sloshing behind glass, and I swear the drum slowed down for just a second, like it noticed me noticing. I didn't touch it. I went back to the counter and didn't look at it again for the rest of the shift. The next night, I checked the machine's coin box out of nothing but nervous curiosity, using the master key Pauline had shown me for register resets. Every other machine's box gets emptied weekly, coins counted and logged. Machine 13's box had never once been opened, according to the log book, not in 17 years of ownership. I didn't open it either. I just stood there doing the math in my head, 17 years of a machine running nonstop with nobody ever collecting a single quarter from it, and I put the master key back on the ring and didn't touch that lock again. 2 nights later, a regular customer, an older guy named Harold who came in every Thursday for his sheets, asked me out of nowhere if I'd ever heard what happened to the kid before you. I told him no. He got quiet, folded his sheets a little faster than before and said only, "Marcus. Ran 13 on a dare from his buddies. Real nice kid. Never came back for his next shift. Never came back to town, far as anybody knows. I asked Pauline about Marcus Odom the next night, expecting her to brush it off the way she'd brushed off the smooth key. She didn't. She sat down across the counter from me, which she'd never done before, and told me the whole thing slow, like she'd been waiting a long time for someone to finally ask properly. Marcus worked nights for about 4 months 2 years back. Good kid, reliable, except he had friends who thought the whole "don't touch machine 13" rule was a joke management told new hires to keep them from stealing quarters. One night, on a dare with 2 friends watching through the front window, Marcus walked over, fed it 4 quarters, and pressed start on a machine that was already running. Pauline said the lights in the whole building dimmed for exactly as long as it took the machine to accept the coins, 6-7 seconds, and then came back up like nothing happened. Marcus finished the rest of his shift like normal. Clocked out at 7. Was never seen in Millhaven again. His car was found still parked in the laundromat lot 3 days later, doors unlocked, keys still in the ignition, like he'd meant to come back for it any minute. Cops looked into it for about a week, Pauline said. No leads. No trail. Eventually they just filed him as a runaway, moved to a big city, didn't want to be found. That's the story everybody tells now, if they tell one at all. Do you believe that? She looked at me a long time before she answered. I believe that machine took something out of him he didn't know he still had to give. I don't know where it put it. I didn't sleep well after that conversation, and for the next few nights I found myself doing my rounds a little faster, spending as little time as possible in the back corner where machine 13 sat. Then, about 3 weeks into the job, something happened that I still haven't fully made sense of, and it's the reason I'm telling you any of this at all. It was close to 3 a.m., dead quiet, no customers, just me and the hum of fluorescent lights and the low mechanical drone of 22 machines, one of them running a load that didn't belong to anyone. I was doing my usual walkthrough when I noticed machine 13's water had gone from cloudy gray to something darker, not quite red, but close enough that my stomach dropped looking at it, and the drum was turning faster than it had any of the other times I'd watched it. And then it stopped. All at once, mid-cycle, the way a machine never stops unless someone's cut the power. The green light stayed on. I stood there for what felt like a long time, and the door, the round glass door, the kind you have to pull a latch to open, clicked. Just once. Unlatched itself, the way it does automatically at the end of a normal cycle, swung open maybe 2 inches on its own weight and stopped. I did not go look inside. I want to be completely clear about that. Every instinct Pauline had spent 3 nights building into me kicked in at once, and I backed away from that corner of the laundromat and didn't take my eyes off that 2-inch gap in the door until I was back behind the counter with the register between me and it. It sat open like that, unmoving for the rest of my shift. At 7 a.m., when Pauline came in to relieve me, I told her what happened before she even had her coat off. She walked back there herself, alone, wouldn't let me come with her. I watched her from the counter. She stood in front of machine 13 for almost a full minute, not touching it, and then reached out and pushed the door shut with one finger, careful, the way you'd close a door on a room you didn't want to wake something up in. When she came back to the counter, the drum was already turning again. Cycle restarted. Water running clear. It does that sometimes, was all she said. Finishes early. Goes again. I asked her what was in it. She told me the same thing she told me about the smooth key on my first night, that it wasn't something I needed to worry about, except this time her hands were shaking slightly when she said it, just enough that I noticed, and she's never once let that show before or since. I looked in the lost and found bin again a few nights after that, on my own this time without her there. There was a new key in it that hadn't been there before, filed smooth like all the others, no teeth. I didn't touch it. I've thought more than once about counting how many are in there now versus how many were in there the day she first showed me, but every time I get close to actually doing it, I find a reason to put the lid back on instead. I still work the night shift at Suds and Duds. I still do my rounds, still make change, still mop up detergent spills at 3 in the morning. I still walk past machine 13 every single night, running the way it apparently always has, the way it apparently always will. I keep that smooth key on my ring even though it's never opened anything I've found. Some nights, mostly the slow ones, I catch myself standing in that back corner a little longer than I mean to, watching the water, telling myself I'm just checking on it. I don't know what I'm checking for. I just know I haven't stopped looking yet.